Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new, my name is Debbie. This is my Crafty Dan. And yesterday I did a Dollarama haul and I showed these two pads, these two paper pads. Now this is just a cheap Artist Series watercolor paper. And it is 10 by 8 inches. Landscape like this, but yeah, it's nice, it's substantial, and this makes wonderful bases for ATC cards. It makes great Zentangle tiles, and it makes, it works really, really well for a lot of things. It makes great bases for small art. That's what I usually do my artist trading cards and my tags out of. I also hauled this. This is the printed watercolor paper pad. Yeah, they didn't have one of these open at the store, so I couldn't see what it was. And I saw this, and I thought, well, somebody, doodled on here, and they're putting watercolor paper on, or watercolor on it, which is what I thought. But when it said a printed pad, I should have known. There's already things printed on here. So if you didn't see the haul yesterday, go watch that, because I flip through this book and show you what's on every page. But quite a few of the pages have this type of thing. This just says make today great. And that's nice, because I wasn't sure what I was going to use those ones. Like this, I'm not really fussy on this one here. Let's do the 2.5 inches this way. So I'm going to do some ATCs. So 2.5, 2.5, and 2.5, and then 3.5, 3.5, 3.5, so I have 9 artist trading cards. So each page in there, if you save your artist saving cards in a trading card sheet protector, in a trading card protector sheet, it holds 9. Or if you're doing pocket letters, it holds 9. So one of these sheets is a perfect size to cut out 9 of these. So when I do my ATC cards, I traditionally do them in a series. So I will do a set of 9 that look really similar. One of the things I like to do in my cards is a really easy background. So I'm going to go back to yesterday's haul, and I'm going to grab for this inspiration paper pad. This was $1.25 at Dollarama. Look at these absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous papers. But there's some background papers here as well. So I like this. I like this. I like this one. That's the first one. I really like that. And I'm going to go grab it because I have 9 cards to cover. I have this one, which looks a lot. I said these papers aren't very thick. So I am just going to grab a glue stick And I am going to put a nice layer of glue, and I'm going to cover this card really well. So if you're not familiar with ATC cards, it's short for Artist Trading Card. And it was, I believe, I'm not an expert on them or anything, but I do believe that they were first used in lieu of something like a business card, where an artist could do a very small version of their art and then put all their information on the back so that you knew exactly what they did. So it was like an advertisement, I guess. But they've become popular for paper crafters and people like me that just like to do stuff, to do and trade in the ATC community. So there's ATC clubs. I just recently joined one. Again, I haven't traded for a long time because I've got binders full of ATC cards, but I miss doing them. And I'm just going to, so that you can see what I'm doing, I'm just going to line this up on this paper and press it down. I think I'm going to line another one up on this corner of this paper. Get it in place while it's wet enough to move. Give them a minute to dry, and I'm going to grab this one here, which is almost the same color. There. I'm going to put some sticky on this one as well. But yeah, so anyway, back to my story, they were for artists to trade. Well, all other kinds of cards this size are made for trading. There's hockey cards. I mean, you collect them, but you trade them so that you can get the ones that you want. It's the same idea with these, all kinds of sports cards. There were playing cards. I remember collecting and trading. Oh, this isn't quite 6 inches. So I can't put that one on there. I'm going to let that dry. And I'm just going to set that up there so that that glue dries. Do I have enough left on here? Maybe not. It's pretty sticky though still. But yeah, I'm used to working with 6x6, full 6x6 inch papers. And these are 5.9 inches. So it didn't quite work. But at 6 inches, you can put a 3.5 and a 2.5 and a 3.5 and a 2.5. And all you lose is a little inch in the middle of the paper. Yeah, that's what I'm used to. These $1.25 paper pads from Dollarama aren't quite up to standard size. But anyway, yeah, so why can't, if all those other things can trade cards, why can't artists and paper crafters and, you know, mixed media artists? Mixed media ATC cards, I love doing them. They're absolutely the best. Maybe if I put this one in this corner instead of the opposite corner, when I cut it off, I'll have a bigger piece of paper saved, and then I won't be wasting as much. So I have those two on there. These two on here. Yeah, so I'm going to get these all glued on so that I have a background. So you could never make an ATC card with this as your background without it being on something. because it wouldn't stand up. It's supposed to be a card. You can, however, use playing cards. A standard deck of playing cards is 2.5 by 3.5 inches. So there's an idea. So I've got my 9 cards here, and I have my backgrounds on them, and I chose these colors because brown is always a good background color for blue. I have 2 winter ephemera books. I've got this Cozy Winter Ephemera, absolute gorgeousness, just absolute gorgeousness. And winter doesn't mean Christmas, as you can see from this. I mean, oh my gosh, guys, so pretty. So I'm going to take my cards before I start doing anything else. I'm going to take my corner rounder and I'm going to trim my corners down so that I have these round corners. You don't have to do this, but I prefer to do it when I'm not making a, oh, this corner rounder. Does anybody else have to beat their crafting tools up every once in a while? So that didn't want to cut through that for some reason. There. Nice round corners. Anyway, it makes these easier to slide them in and out of the sleeves in the collecting pages when you're putting them in a binder. And that's how I store mine. So I just prefer to do this when I'm making them for somebody else as well. So I hope everybody's got something on their tabletop or desktop or wherever you do your crafting, and you're crafting with me and not just sitting and watching me. I hate wasting people's time, but I think if you have something on your desk and you're doing something while you watch, then I can justify using your time up that way. Makes me feel better if you're doing something. So let's just let's start with this one, because I used this in one of my planners over Christmas, and I used it to make, last year I used this book to make all my Christmas cards for my family. Eggnog, that's too Christmassy for me. So I bought this book last year, and I got 2 pages of white paper. I've got some words. These are nice, these words. I might tear that page out of there because those are really cool words to put on winter ATCs. I want to put a focal image on here. I'm not even going to make this complicated. If you're new to ATCs, this is just about as easy as it gets. Let's see. I got a whole bunch here. So I have these, and they're absolutely gorgeous. And look at how pretty they would look on here like this. I think I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm just going to round this corner like this. Then I'm going to glue this on here so that it's like this. I want that bird on there. Yeah, so I'm going to trim off I'm going to trim off this much. Of this, and I'm going to put it on here like this. So yeah, let's do that. I got to get started here somehow. I can't just think about it. I'm really indecisive today. So if you've done glue book pages, you can do this. I think I'm going to use the darker brown card. Just like that. There. So I have this. I mean, that's gorgeous all on its own. But I also have, here's one, number 556. And there says figure 22. Those are really cool things, little numbers and things like that to put on. I don't want that. It's too Christmassy. So, yeah, I get really quiet when I'm fussy cutting because I'm paying attention to what I'm doing, and I'm blonde, I guess. I mean, oh my gosh, I'm dating myself if I start thinking about blonde jokes. Yeah, I can't walk and chew gum at the same time right now, and I really can't. I just, the last little while, had the worst case of the clumsies that's ever befallen someone. So I can't pick things up without dropping them. I'm just, yeah. So the other day in the mail, I got these, and they are acrylic art paint pens. You can use these for rock painting, for painting on shoes, plastic, wood, glass, paper, metal, fabric, and jeans. But there's a white one in here. And because there's a white one, I think that's fabulous. But I'm going to be able to use it to do this card. So I'm going to take the back of this little piece of paper that I cut that out of. You're supposed to, this one hasn't been used yet. So you're supposed to shake these and then you press down on the tip and you just allow the paint to come through for a minute. And when the paint comes through, you get this, and it's absolutely perfect. So I think I'm going to use this to put, that's perfect. You don't have to do this on your ATC cards, but rather than just gluing paper and doing this just like a glue book style, I like to add a little bit to it as well. I'm going to continue that stitching all the way around. Now you probably can't see it much on the camera, but in person I can see this, and it just looks like a white thread. There. So I've got that one that far. I also have this one this far. And I'm going to do the same thing on it. Something about the white stitching on a dark background that looks really good. So I'm going to set that one up there. Now I'm going to work on another one. Winter's Greeting. I'm going to around this. And I'm going to glue it down on here. So it's kind of the opposite of the Merry Winter. So getting a little bit away from Christmas, I just think that these colors go marvelous with these backgrounds. It's warm in here. I was freezing earlier, so I put my heat up. And now it's warm. I'm gonna, oops, I'm gluing my bag to my arm. Got a little glue there. So I'm going to let that dry for just 1 minute. So I'm going to work on this one. This one is the Arctic Fox. I'm going to trim a little bit more away from this. I want to use this and this and this. So I'm going to move to this lighter background because more of the background is going to show. Or should I? Should I go darker? Maybe this way so that this fox pops off of here. I want the Arctic fox to be at the bottom. There. So the little label is at the bottom. And then the Arctic fox, I'm going to put it on here so that it's sitting just above this. But I want to put, where'd it go? There's this little label right here as well. And I'm going to put it, on there like that. Make it straight. So I've got a little tab at the top. And then I'm going to put my fox on. I just want to make sure I'm layering it right. I'm going to put this on first. Just like that. I'm getting dirty fingers from handling paper and having glue on my fingers. And then I'm going to do I can hear my husband out in the kitchen and he's getting something to eat. And I can hear him talking to, we have a Chihuahua. And if anybody has one, you'll know that they just are under your feet waiting to see if you'll drop something all the time. So he's out there telling the dog, no, I'm not dropping anything. You're not getting nothing now. So I kind of like this. I'm also going to take one of these pens. There's white, black, gold, and silver in here. I've also never used the silver. So some snowflakes there. And they do show up pretty good because they're silver. I'm wondering if I should, I'm going to add a word or something to this. Solstice would fit on there if I cut a little bit of this off. I like that. And then I'm going to take this one and trim it out. Because this bird has this little bit of gold on it here, I am going to do some gold lines here. There, so I have a little gold trim on this one. And I'm going to put some embellishments on them when I'm done. I'm just setting them aside to dry. So I've got this one set aside, so that's 4. I like this. And the reason that I like it is because it already looks mixed media. I mean, it looks like it's got stamping, parts of a bingo card, the house is on there, and the snowflake is on there. So it looks like it's got a lot going on already. And let's see how this fits. That's perfect. So I have that on there. I want the words home sweet home, but I don't want the rest of this. So I'm actually going to turn it down. There's no place in cold, miserable weather that you want to be besides home and all snuggled up with your favorite stuff. Okay. I got 4 different colors of these paint markers and 2 of each one, which was pretty perfect. I'll put the links to my Amazon storefront in the description box, and you can find everything that I use here pretty much in that storefront. There. Okay. Okay, so these ones have dried that I set aside to dry, and I've been working on 3 more. So I have these 3, Home Sweet Home, Create Warm Memories, and Winter Solstice. And I have these 3 that say Winter's Greetings, Merry Winter, and I have this Arctic Fox that actually has a little bit of a pull tab out that. So I've got those 3 that are waiting for embellishments, and I've been working on fussy cutting a few of these. So I'm going to put these ones together. I have this one that has the definition for winter, the coldest season of the year in the northern hemisphere from December to February, and the southern hemisphere from June to August. So I'm just going to take, that's not quite straight across the top. Let's see if I can straighten that up just a tad. There. So I'm going to put this up here. I've cut out a sweater, and I've glued a scarf onto it like this, and the fringe on the scarf matches the color of the sweater. It kind of goes together. I love blues and browns together. Anyway, obviously the artist that did this book loves them as well, and this one is this book right here, Cozy Winter Ephemera, and it is stunning, absolutely stunning. If you look back through my hauls, if you go to my channel, you can see these as book reviews when I flip through them. I have to order a few more of those. I've got some Christmas ones, winter ones. I've got an Easter, a St. Patrick's Day, I believe. I've got a Valentine's Day one. Yes, I'll be using the Valentine's Day one to make some there. So I've got the scarf glued on the sweater. I'm going to put this right close to the top. I'm leaving a little bit of an edge. I'm going to overlap this because everybody here in Canada knows what winter is. So I'm going to put this one. I'm going to put this one down on the side and down a little. Like that. It's okay if it overlaps part of that definition. Then I've got this little sweater and scarf words that I'm just going to add on top. So these aren't done. This isn't the final layer of these. They're not done yet. So that one, and then this one, these girls that are in that Cozy Winter Ephemera book are stunning. Absolutely stunning. So I fussy cut her out, and I am going to put her on this card. Just going around the edge, and then I can get some in the middle there. And I'm going to put her right down in this bottom corner. I cut her to fit here. You got just a little bit of wiggle room. I need to grab an old card here so that I can press this down there. It's on there really good. And then I've got winter. There, and I've got I knew I had them here somewhere. I've got the words hot cider that I want. This was all one word, but I've cut it in half. Yes, there's nothing nicer than sitting and drinking a nice hot drink. Little glue on there. Make sure I've got it all off. And hot. There. So hot cider on that one. And I've got one background left with nothing on it. And she is stunning as well with her lovely matching scarf and hat. Love it. I was given for Christmas the most wonderful scarf. It is so long that, I mean, I could wrap it around me 4 times. So, and it's nice and soft, and it almost feels like it's a synthetic, but it almost feels like cashmere. It is that soft. So I've got this, and I've got Unique like a snowflake. And this girl looks so much like one of my granddaughters that it's not even funny. I'm wondering, I think I want to, I should have done this first. Unique. Like a snowflake. There, Unique, like a snowflake. And let's put my lid on this. So I have these 3 now. I have to do some stitching because that's my next step. And the white's been showing up really well. I only did the black on the one. What am I going to do here? I'm going to do around the words. This needs a little shake. There. I like doing just a loose line around these sometimes. Just doesn't have to be straight, doesn't have to be just a sketchy around the words. So I like that. I'm going to do the same thing for hot cider. And winter. There. It just makes those words pop off the page a little bit more. And the same thing here. All the little words in this book are perfect for using on winter themed cards, ATCs, tags, cards, like greeting cards, anything like that. I just love them. Memory decks cards, these are perfect. These books are perfect for memory decks. So I have these. And I think I'm going to use the silver to do my stitching on these last 3 cards, just to make it a little bit different from the words. And I'm going to do dots all the way around this one. There. And this one, some lines. I think I want to do white. I'm just going to wipe that off. I think I'm going to do white on these last 2 cards because these are a little dark and that might not show up. So this one. So dot, 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 line, dot, 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 line on this one. The acrylic paint works really well on the paper from these books as well. There. So I have my 9 cards, 3 sets, all using the brown colored backgrounds, but they're kind of 3 different themed. So this is, you know, your cozy, warm. This is these ones here are more animal themed. These 3 are home themed, like the flowers, the indoor flowers. These white roses and other white flowers that are mixed in there are a perfect winter bouquet. I'm grabbing out my stickles and my pearl drops. These are from Ranger, liquid pearls and stickles here. Let's see what I can do with these. So I'm going to work card by card, and then I'm going to set them at the top of my desk here to dry so that I don't put my hands in these, because these are the very last step. So pearl drops. I don't even know if this has a color on it. Does it? No color there. So let's do 3 drops. And pearl drops, you just put down a little blob and then pull straight up. And then when this dries, there's 3 pearls on here. So do I need more? Maybe I do. I got 3 there. Let's do 3. No, let's just do 2 down the side like this. So I'm going to take this one and I'm going to set it up here to dry. I'm going to take this one. These are so, so pretty, guys. Just so pretty. And I'm just going to put 3 down the side. And then I'm going to set that back up there to dry. These take a while. Absolutely. I'm going to do 3 up here, or maybe I'll do 2 here. Just 2 up there, and I'm going to set them up there. And I'm going to put this lid back on because these things, the lids plug up so, so easy. So these 3 that have the snowflakes on them, I'm going to grab my silver stickles. This is a glitter glue. And this is much too small for me to see, but this is by Rangers as well, and it's a glitter glue. And the silver is really, really pretty. So I was thinking just maybe in the middle of these snowflakes right here, just in the center part. I'm going to put just enough on here, and I am going to spread it so that it's thin, so that it's just some glitter just there. And then three little dots down the side. Just I'm just looking for something to catch the light. So that one. Now I'm thinking, what if the snow on the roof, if you put a little bit of this down, like not very much, like just spread it out, put a little tiny bit down and spread it out. Then the snow on the roof of the house has got some glitter to it. And that's all I'm doing. There. It's just so pretty. And the same as this one, just the snow that's laying on the roof of the house, so new and pristine. If it goes somewhere you don't want it to, just wipe it off. It takes a minute to dry, so I have those. And these ones right here are a little bit different. These animal ones, do I want to put something on these? The Arctic Fox one has some silver snowflakes. Just a tiny bit. Just a few little spots here and there. It's just that 3D. It's just that dimension look when you put something that's on the card instead of glued flat. It just makes such a difference. So let's put this one up here. And these two, I'm thinking, need a little bit of gold on them. A little bit of gold coloring in the feathers on this bird and shading in the trees. The same as the trees here and the bird's wings. So it's got that gold effect. So I'm very carefully adding some really tiny little dabs along the branches of the tree. Like that. And 3 pearls at the end. That's a little bit different. I like it. A little bit different. I'm leaving that like that. And then the same on this one. I'm going to add now that I know where I want to put them, I'm just adding just a little bit more to make them a little more stand out. There. So there's just that little bit of gold around there. And there's something about just having 3 little pearl dots on there that I like. So I'm going to set that up there. So I have these all done. Just a little bit on the branches. They look, it's just so pretty. So all of my cards are done, and I have divided them into 3 different series, and this is how I write on the back of them. All I put is the series name. This first series I'm going to call Nature in Winter. This is card number 1 of 3. And then I put my name and I put the date on the back of it. And that's all you really have to put on the back. You can put the country of origin as well if you would like to. I'm loving the way that this one finished off. Just those little pearl dots on there add that little bit of dimension, which is perfect. And then this one says Merry Winter. And that little bit of gold on there is just perfect. So that's card 2 of 3. And This one, the little dimensional dots, the little dots on the branches, just a perfect addition to these cards. So those three, and then this is the Home Sweet Home series, and the only thing that I did to these was made it look like the sunlight or the moonlight is just dancing off of the snow on the roof of that house with a little bit of stickles. So that's card 1 of 3. This is the Home Sweet Home series 2 of 3. You can just see a little bit of that sparkle. And Winter Solstice with these indoor florals. So pretty. And this is 3 of 3 for the Home Sweet Home series. This series I chose to call Cozy Winter. So, I mean, you don't get cozier than this. So I really do hope that you enjoyed this craft with me session. I tried to keep it to around an hour. I hope I did okay after editing. I know it took me longer than that to do them. But yeah, so give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that already. Come on back and let's do this again. And by all means, leave me a comment. Let me know which one was your favorite card. So, bye-bye for now, everybody. Have a really wonderful day. See you in the next video.